What's up, everybody? Today, the movie nights are actually going to be reviewing a movie for once, instead of a TV show. Today, we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, and with me, as always, breaking that stuff down, is my brother, my man, my homie, Seth. What is up, man?
What is up, everybody? I hope you guys enjoyed the movie. I have my thoughts to share. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
All right, that's awesome, bro. And we got the Raging Rando in the house. What's
Manjo,
up, Frankie? The Manjo. He's a Manjo.
The Raging Banjo. The Raging Banjo. The Raging Banjo.
What's up, Frankie? How you doing, man?
Switch. Great. I loved it. I love that movie. That was a good movie.
I had a blast watching that movie, man. It was a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. Maybe because I was just going into it with no expectations, so maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, we'll get to it. You had a meh feeling to it, Seth?
Meh.
All right.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, it was just like a movie you watch and you just lose yourself for like an hour or two.
There you go.
It's not like, it was a dullless, thoughtless, there was really nothing to think about. There was no like intricate plot twists or anything like that. I mean, it was,
True.
it was basically, you're basically run-of-the-mill action movie that, again, you could lose yourself in it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So, if this is your first time watching the show, we do movie reviews on the Movie Nights channel and TV show reviews. Mostly TV show reviews, but every now and then we get a good movie and we'll check it out. So, if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date on all that stuff. And we'll get right to it. So, as you can see, all of us have different thoughts about it. I know Calvin didn't like it at all. Calvin told me straight up, he's like, he didn't like this movie.
Really?
No, I was kind of hoping he would have made it onto the show so that we would have had that, other opinion.
Aspect.
Oh, no. You have that other aspect with me.
So you didn't like it at all? You just said you thought it was meh.
I thought it was meh. I mean, yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, I sat, I watched, it was meh. It was like, it's not like, oh my God, it's the greatest movie ever. And, there were a lot of questionable things that happened. That happened in the movie. And it also kind of ruined the story from another movie.
From another movie. So if you want to, but we can get into that. I mean, I don't know what you're. Go. What did it ruin?
So it kind of actually ruined Kong Skull Island because they said that Skull Island was his home, but technically it wasn't his home. It was what are they calling it? Middle Earth or home Middle
Earth?
Yeah, whatever it is. Frankie just sent me. Frankie just sent me some from Lord of the Rings. So it's so Hollow Earth is his home. So it basically just debunked that whole storyline from Skull Island.
Not really.
Not really. I don't think so.
That's what they thought was his home, and then now they discovered this part.
But you got to figure when Kong Skull Island took place, that was like right after Vietnam, or directly after Vietnam, so like late 60s.
And I didn't like the fact that they made Kong look like such a bitch.
Okay.
That kind of aggravated me. No, I'm not Team Kong. I mean,
I'm
Team Gray
Godzilla.
Area. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle because I like both. I like both characters. I like both backstories. I like what each character brings to the table. It's just that it's kind of like what they just did with the Justice League recut. They made Batman look like a bitch. And that's the problem I have with that. You've got two giant sized guys that can, go toe to toe with each other. And, Godzilla's got the short dinosaur arms and, King Kong's got these big massive arms. It's like, come on, bro, use that shit to your advantage. And, he just basically let fucking, Godzilla fucking whoop up on him. And it was bullshit, man.
Godzilla's kind of OP, man. That was my thought about it anyway. I mean, I kind of agree with you a little bit that it was one-sided in the fighting, but Godzilla's fucking OP. The guy can swim. He can. Yeah. He has that atomic blast or whatever that thing is. He also has that super move that he pulled off at the end of King of Monsters that he could have put on Kong and just like deteriorated him, So
it was just and like the whole movie was about like them going after a power a power source. Geez, like we haven't seen that before. Avengers. So it's like, they're going after the power source to help, a bright light for all mankind, so it was just a mindless movie. I didn't like what they did with Kong. All of a sudden Kong gets a weapon. When have we ever seen King Kong with a weapon? I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, Mjolnir.
like seriously, like he's already got his ass kicked, by Godzilla. Now to make us feel for him, you got to give him a weapon. It's like
I was already feeling for him. I think Kong was more relatable. If you had to, at least in my opinion, I don't know about you, Frankie, but I mean, of the two characters, I like Kong. So, yeah, Godzilla to me he's cool, but there's nothing relatable about the character. Kong's over there talking to the girl. He's protecting the girl. He seems to be more protective of the humans on the boat, or maybe just self-preservation.
And he scratches his ass when he wakes up in the morning.
Yeah,
that was great. That was
awesome.
That was great. Like they should have played that song like when he got up, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell me why. And it's just like he's just scratching his ass. Like they should have had. It should have. There was some humor to it, which was good. It's always good to have a little bit of humor, a humor element in it. If Kong wasn't gonna hurt anybody, like the doctor said, I mean, it's crazy that they had to chain him up on the boat, and they had to give him like sleeping. He had the collar around his neck, and he had the sleeping aids built in. I mean, yeah, it's just
what they put him to sleep with. How'd they get him on the boat? There's the questions I had with some of the things that happened was like, okay, how'd they get him on the bot? And then
probably the same way when they lifted him up with the helicopter.
Yeah, like how the hell did they just had a net in the middle of the ocean?
So let's start with, what did you expect going into the movie?
See, like that's something that I was seeing out on Facebook and everything. A lot of people were upset that this seemed to be a one-sided movie towards Kong. I was expecting more of a more fighting between the two of them. I would say that didn't happen as much, I guess. But I mean, I liked it either way. I think the story was okay for me. So I mean, I wasn't expecting much, but I got a lot for me.
And that was the same thing for me. I didn't expect any. This is one of those 80s guys action flicks is all it was. It's not going to make sense. It's going to be the stupid stuff happening that will never ever happen. But it better have damn good special effects.
Yeah.
And that was all I was going into it with, but I love Godzilla. I've always liked that character. Yeah. So him kicking Kong's ass was just poetry.
I mean, I like how he was blasting around the city, like when they were fighting in China at the end, and the neon lights and all that stuff, and I felt like the colors were really cool. The special effects were really good.
Yeah.
It was to distract you from the bad dialogue.
Well, I mean, like I said, like what Frankie said, I never was going into this expecting, a good story. I just was expecting some kick-ass scenes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Obviously, with movies, there has to be a story. There has to be a story. So it's like the story was a little.
Aren't you the same guy that likes the what was it, the Unstoppables, or no? What is it? No,
Unstoppables.
Not the Unstoppables.
The Expendables.
The Expendables.
That was a good movie.
That movie had a horrible story, Seth. All three of them had a horrible story.
Well, let's just talk. Doesn't wrestling in general have horrible stories?
Yes.
Yes, sometimes they do.
The storyline of Expendables wasn't exactly like Academy
There's a great example.
Movies.
That is a
straight up action flick.
Straight up action. How many bullets can we make fly?
Exactly, and it was cool as fuck. I enjoyed them, but I mean, I didn't go in there saying, "Wow, they really wrote that one well." I mean, fucking Chuck Norris showed up out of nowhere.
Wow, he's the lone wolf.
Come on, bro.
And this year's Oscar for Best Screenplay is not for Expendables.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything, like that. I just wanted some kick-ass scenes, and that's what I got.
If I go too far into the story on King Kong, it's going to stop with the kids being involved and getting into these top-secret installations.
Yeah, like
what's going to stop right there.
And, like, that whole thing was stupid, too. It's like, oh, we need to find a guy who bathes himself in bleach. Did I miss something? Like, don't you get chemical burns or something like from that?
It's just stupid comedic effect.
Yeah, it was.
And then also I was laughing at the guy. He's like, listen, I don't sell Tide Pods anymore to you kids.
Yeah.
Because of the whole thing. And and then the kids, the other kid who was the what was it? The kid in Deadpool 2. With the glasses, the fat, yeah. He was like, he was like, oh, I'll take some candy, and he smacks down a 10, and he's like, oh, you mean that guy? It's like, come on.
Something about that actor gets on my nerves. I'm not a really fan of him.
Yeah.
But What else? What else? Okay, how about the way they treated Mecha Godzilla? I mean, did you guys like the way they brought him in? I mean, this one had a kind of a different twist between his original storyline, right? He's supposed to be like an alien.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it was. I could go with it. I mean, for what it was, again, for what it is, I can go with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, they were looking for an alternative defender. God forbid something happened, you know, to Godzilla.
I
You know,
thought-
but it's weird though, like how Godzilla could have sensed that they were doing, you know, that and he just knew exactly where
So did
to
he
show
sense
up.
it, or were they doing something to attract him?
Well,
I
they
think
were
it was
saying that he was
source.
sensing it.
Yeah, that he was sensing the ability of that thing, and I think it's because it was using Ghidorah, right?
Yeah. That's had to be why.
So I mean, I thought that it would have been kind of cool if they stated that they did, because they didn't. You know, like they're at the end when the guy who's in the drone, I guess, or the pilot of Mechagodzilla gets killed. You know, I thought that it was Ghidorah's like conscious had taken over, and now he was gonna get revenge on Godzilla for killing him. You know, there was some. I thought that would have been kind of a neat little subplot to throw in there. You know,
I feel like I need to address the elephant in the room.
there's always an elephant with you, Seth. What's up?
You know, so it's like all of a sudden they're fighting, and then Godzilla goes and fights Mechagodzilla, and then Kong comes in, and then they have that moment where they look at each other and they're like, "Hey, did we become best friends? Yep. You want to go fight Mechagodzilla? Yep."
That
You know,
made
it's
sense
like,
to me though. How does that not make sense to you? Like you keep like referencing that to
Godzilla just got done fucking him up.
and
But
King
the
Kong,
enemy of my
yes.
enemy is my
But
friend.
exactly, King Kong's looking at this and looking at Godzilla getting killed, and in his mind, he's like, "I just got my ass whipped by Godzilla, and he's about to get killed. What is that robot gonna go after next? And he's gonna go after
Right.
me. So the only thing that I could do now is help Godzilla beat this thing down." That made a hell of a lot more sense than you and me share the same mother's name. It's that you keep comparing because it's nothing
Mothra.
like that.
Mothra must save Mothra. Why did you say that name?
So in that first fight, when Godzilla's kicking Kong's ass.
Yeah.
So me and my wife, right, our couch, we got where it's got like the bed type thing on it. So we're sitting there holding hands, watching it. He starts getting his ass kicked. She's like, "Oh my God, will you stop? Come on, Kong." I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Are you King Kong fan? She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, we quit holding hands. We're both like, stay away from each other.
I was
Like,
a Kong
no.
fan though. How can you not be a Kong fan watching the movie though? I mean, I think it was written more towards a Kong fan than it was towards a Godzilla fan.
So me growing up, I remember when I lived in Washington before I would go to school watching the Godzilla cartoon, and just always watched all those old Godzilla movies and stuff. King Kong, they were okay movies, but nothing I really gravitated towards. So I've always liked Godzilla, and he's the king of the monsters.
True.
So he's gonna kick Kong's ass.
I've never been a super fan of either one of these movies alone. Even like I felt like King Kong was always a very, very long movie, and then Godzilla movies to me were just, I mean, they're okay. You know,
I actually watched King of the Monsters last night after I was done. It just happened to be on HBO, so I was watching it.
Right.
And I was just like at the end when it was just like a free for all, when it was like all these monsters just blatantly fighting against each other. It was like one big monster battle royal. It was just like, you know, you know, it's like, I hate that shit because it's like the movie is called Godzilla, King of the Monsters, you know, and then again, there was this massive battle royal, all the monsters die off, and then obviously, King Kong is, not King Kong, Godzilla's by himself, you know, and it's like, okay, we get it. He's the last one, you know, he's the last one standing, but he's not truly king of the monsters yet because he hasn't fought King Kong yet.
no, because he didn't. I mean, at the time, he didn't know. And I mean, even in the movie, when they shot that movie, I don't think that there was the forethought yet to have the MonsterVerse, or they were attempting to get there, but it wasn't.
They're trying to get there.
Yeah, so it really wasn't like thrown in there like that. Because I think there was a Godzilla movie before this one too. There was the first Godzilla movie where he fought the first set of monsters that came on Earth, and that one had Elizabeth Olsen in it and the other guy, the guy who played Quicksilver. In fact, that's how they got their jobs for Avengers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's pretty
working
neat.
together on another movie. Huh?
Yeah, pretty strange, right? They go from playing husband and wife to playing brother and sister.
Hey, it brings
Depends
a
on
whole
what
new
state they
meaning to
filmed
keep.
in.
Yeah. Brings a whole new meaning to keeping it in the family.
But I remember that first Godzilla movie was okay. I thought King of the Monsters was really cool, actually. I enjoyed that one. And this one, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm a Kong fan, so for me, it's if I had to pick one or the other, like I said, I think Kong is more relatable than Godzilla.
I like the whole thing when they were doing the whole travel thing to the Hollow Earth. That was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah,
when they were going in there, and those ships that they were flying in were kind of cool and everything. And
dude, that Mexican woman, I love her.
Oh, what, the one
beautiful.
that was the daughter?
Yes, my God.
She got killed off.
She did,
she
but
did.
I mean, Selma Hayek used to have it, but now
Yeah.
she's got it.
that happened, and George was like, no.
Nah, I didn't care. I knew she was bitchy, but I didn't. She just was sexy. I was like, man. I even told my wife. I'm sitting there next to her. I was like, that is one hot Mexican woman right there. And of course, she looks at me and she's like, well, she had her nose done and her chin done and all that. I'm like, I don't care. She's still
And that's the funny thing. Do you notice that? Why do women always judge other women? It's so wrong. It's so wrong.
Oh man, but back, go ahead.
Yeah, it was cool when they did the whole thing with Hollow Earth, and then it was actually pretty funny how he already had he wasn't even there 2 minutes, and they already had an encounter with a flying monster, and he basically just sucked, ripped the head off and just sucked the head, sucked the head clean, and just.
Crawfish.
He basically, was not there for 2 minutes, but he was already establishing his, his.
See, that's
Right.
the one thing that I could say about the movie that I wasn't a fan of is that it's Kong versus Godzilla. This is what we're coming to see, but I feel like we were getting two different movies. Is when they went into the Hollow Earth thing, I'm thinking we're going to Journey to the Center of the Earth, and then we get there, and there's so much in that area that I was like, man, I kind of want to know more about the history of Kong now that we're down here. And then we didn't get that really. He kind of just sat.
So you think you're just setting up for something in the future?
Maybe, but I heard they're not going to be doing anything more with this. This is it.
Yeah, but you know how it is. If something, you get enough money in from something, then all of a sudden a sequel can pop up.
True. Because I didn't care for Skull Island that much. I mean that was okay. Yeah, I mean it was alright. It wasn't crazy great. I felt some of even the skull, what are they called, skull crushers or no, what are the monsters called? The ones that he fights on Skull Island.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, I remember her mentioning it, but I don't know.
Yeah, but they made an appearance in this one too.
She said it was
when she's in the lab.
I think she said it was what were they doing with the skull crusher?
Yeah, that the monsters, the way he fought them, reminded me a lot of the King Kong movie that Peter Jackson did. When he fought
with Jack Black.
With Jack Black, yeah. That I felt like he fought similar monsters in that movie.
It's just that they all have the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the Kong movies, it's pretty much the same. Godzilla, he needs to go smash a few buildings. There's only so much you can do with it.
Yeah.
And that's why this one kind of entertained, because it was them against each other. I mean, we haven't seen it to that scale yet.
Right.
That's what made it entertaining. So they try to do another one, then you're going to have to have a story.
Hard.
Well, then you're going to have a story.
And then I think part of the reason why they brought in Mechagodzilla because they didn't want to commit to killing one or the other. Because they would have had to. Kong would have had to do it.
You would have had, because a tie would have been people would have been pissed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even though we all know Godzilla wins, so it's really not that big a deal.
Yeah, I gotta say that after watching that, Godzilla definitely won.
Yo, boy, you think?
Yeah. And Kong was basically he dropped the axe. He's like, yo, I don't even want to fight no more, man. We're good.
I thought it was funny when they were in the ocean and he was fixing to blast him.
Yeah.
And he's kind of oh shit, I know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. He jumps out. He jumps off. He's like, peace.
Yeah, that was that fight scene in the ocean was I would probably say that's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Really? I like the fight scene in China better.
I like the fight scene in the ocean because it was cool though. It's because it was cool to see Kong, out of his element, and he was basically doing the super jump from carrier to carrier and stuff like that. And how is he going to be able to compete against Godzilla when Godzilla basically lives in the in the water? So I mean, we saw flurries from Kong. He was getting some of his shots in, but then obviously ultimately Godzilla prevailed, and then I love the fact that everybody's like, just play dead, and maybe he'll go away.
He'll go away.
And he'll just go away. Maybe he'll just go away.
Yeah.
They played possum,
Yep.
So that was interesting,
Yeah. I just felt like there was a lot of little backstories that could have been told that I felt like if they had told one or the other movie, like maybe they made another Kong movie, since this was pretty much a Kong movie, we would have got some other backstories, like explaining what the whole premise of going to or what the Hollow Earth theory was and all that. And I mean, I felt like those ships were really freaking cool that they flew in. They were pretty dope. I was more interested in Hollow Earth as far as the story goes than I was with any other part of the story that was going on. And then I liked the fight scenes. So I was like, the fight scenes were cool.
To me, it was 3 parts, right? Just the fight in the ocean, Hollow Earth, and China.
Yeah, in China.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was the extent of the movie for me. That the comedy relief, he had a few funny moments, but
yeah. That part where he screamed in the pit.
Yeah. that was a good one.
Oh man, it woke my wife up, man. First night, she said, "What?" The movie was short. It really wasn't that long either.
No, it wasn't. Just an hour and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very short movie. So it's to me, it was a fun movie. Nothing to really think too much about, just fun. That's how I got out of it.
Yep, I didn't go into it with expecting too much.
Seth expected more.
I'm all about low expectations.
Obviously not.
Well, I mean, you got to understand something. They were hyping the shit out of this movie. They were hyping the shit out of it. So you go into it with a little bit of expectation. Okay, how hype is this movie? Really, is this movie? Now, yes, the fight scenes were awesome. The battles were great. The story sucked. But it's like, I get it. Like we were just saying, it's just one of those mindless movies where you can disconnect, enjoy the action, But then, but come on. I mean, there were some points throughout the movie where, like, some of us were sitting there and they were like, okay, this literally makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yep, it was.
I mean, even when we're trying to disconnect, can we really disconnect when we're watching a movie?
I mean, there's, like I said, whenever she's going in and sneaking, like, she's never been there, and she can do the security code to lock the door.
Yeah.
It's like
it's nothing, right?
Okay, come on.
Oh, hold on. My dad works for the company. Maybe my biometrics work.
And nobody saw them in the pit when the skull thing was chasing after them.
Right.
He was screaming in the pit. I mean, come on.
Well, and the funny thing is that when they got on that transport ship to leave from Pensacola to freaking Hong Kong, and that thing was doing like Mach something, yet they were just sitting there like they were sleeping. Dude, if you're doing Mach something, you're like up against the fucking wall or something, would you like your face all flapping back and shit like that? So I mean, it's like, unless there's some kind of anti-gravity stabilizer thing built into the ship,
See, you solved it right there.
Yeah,
it did look very futuristic, though. I mean, the thing was floating in there. Very high tech.
And again, I don't like how sometimes the shit like is like how like stuff happens in Florida. Florida already has a bad reputation as it is. We don't need any more shit. Okay, we deal with hurricanes, tropical storms,
and now Godzilla.
Yeah, now we got fucking Godzilla off the goddamn coast. We don't need any more shit. Stay the fuck away.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it was okay. I'll probably watch it one more time before it goes off HBO.
I've seen it a couple times already,
but
I enjoyed it. Like I said,
I wouldn't have been disappointed if I would have gone to the movies and paid to watch it.
I think I would have been fine if I saw it in the theater. Is that what you mean?
If I paid, I would have been upset.
Nah, man, I think I wanted to see this in the theater because you had the big screen. This would have been cool.
I was fine. I was content sitting on my couch in my living room, watching it on my 70-inch flat screen. I was content. Thank you.
I would say for me anyway, this is probably the most fun I had watching an HBO movie since they came up with HBO Max.
Yes.
This year. For me,
because we were utterly disappointed with Wonder Woman 84.
Yep.
Most of us were okay with the Just Us League. And then we got the Kong and Godzilla. So I mean, hopefully whatever next that they decide to drop on HBO Max surpasses those 3 movies. I mean, obviously they're moving in the right direction. It was badder, bad, and now it's okay. So it's like hopefully now it just it continues elevating.
Scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
A 4.
7.
7? I would say 7. I'm with the 7.
I would say a 4 is fair.
4 is fair for you?
Yeah.
All right. Man, you beating that in the ground, bro.
I mean, it's better than the other rating system I give it. I give this movie 2 undescending testicles down.
Oh my god. What else? I don't think I got anything else for this movie. Like I said, it really wasn't.
It wasn't that much to it. I mean, it was those 3 scenes, really.
I don't even think there was any kind of like Easter eggs that I could think of when I was looking at it.
No,
I'm not super familiar with it.
Again, it was a mindless movie. The action sequences were great. The special effects were really cool. Now, and it's funny too because at the end of the movie, they're back in Hollow Earth, and they're using that now as a chance to observe Kong again. So it's like, what's to say that those people aren't going to try to steal that power? Find a way to steal that power source.
Well, I mean, the guy that was doing that got killed, and then it was uncovered that he was the one that was doing it.
But what about the other guy that he hired? What about the guy that they hired?
Oh, he got turned around though. He redeemed himself.
Yeah, he was a good.
Remember,
guy.
He's a coward.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever the sign language is for that.
And it was just funny out of nowhere, like all of a sudden, like Kong can sign. It's like, when did he have time in his daily routine to learn sign?
She's been doing that for years. Yeah.
See, that's why I like Kong. He's related, he's smart.
But I found something out that there's a deal that was made whenever companies make a Godzilla movie that he has to remain like animalistic. He can't show any type of emotion.
Cool.
Like Kong can't. Yeah, Godzilla. He can't show any type of. It has to be just animal. So that's why you never see him like being any kind of like Kong can do. Right. Which I mean, a monkey can do it. Obviously, a lizard's not going to show any type of emotion. But that's one of the things that they had.
I mean, could you picture Millie Bobby Brown walking up to Godzilla like the way that little girl walked up to Kong, and she's like holding her hand? No, he's gonna fucking laser blast her goddamn body into smithereens.
You know what thing that I thought though it's right when he found the axe. I wonder how many people are going to want a throne statue of King Kong.
Oh, with the axe! You know that's coming. You know that's coming. That's absolutely coming.
Or they can make a diorama with Godzilla looking up and then Kong jumping in the air with the axe. That would be kind of dope.
That would be, man, but I don't know. That'd be
a big mamma jamma, yeah.
Yeah. That would be.
Because you got to think, over here it's probably not that big a deal, but in the Asian market, I bet it's a big deal over there.
Gayaka.
That's all the movie was missing. Chris Tucker.
Yeah. Come on, Lee! Come on, Lee! Let's run, Lee!
Yeah, you know, one thing that I thought was kind of strange was, okay, so they had to go through that portal thing to shoot them across into the Hollow Earth, but then Godzilla shoots a hole right down to the center.
It just blows right through the damn thing. Yeah,
and they're able to go up that with no issue.
Yeah. They didn't go through the portal, the magnetized
I didn't even think
field,
about that. That's a good point.
Yeah, again, plot holes, people, plot holes.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's things about the movie made absolutely no sense, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, that's a bad scene. I'm like, but hey, whatever, you know.
What's funny is that like every movie has somebody that's supposed to catch stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's their job, is to catch little plot holes and stuff.
Failed. You know what's funny? Is like they do. I'm sure they do catch their fair share of things, but then at some point, I bet you the guy's like sitting there and he's like, "Man," he's like, "I'm so fucking bored right now." He's like, "I just had enough of watching this shit." Hey,
your movie's good to go. Cut it.
Yeah, he does one of these things. He has his like phone off to the side, and he just kind of like, and like he misses like the clip, and then he just gets back to it, and he's like, "Oh, nothing's good. We're good. We're good."
The other thing's got to be weird too is like, so he shoots the blast through. Godzilla's looking down at him. King Kong is looking down at him. So King Kong jumps down into a hole, and then climbs up out of the hole when he gets to the other side. Because, but obviously that's because of gravity. So at what point is the downward, is the going down going up?
Well, what is it? 11 can answer that for you because it's kind of like the upside down.
The upside down.
I mean, that's why
There's
she's in the
your Easter
movie.
egg.
That's why she's in the movie.
That's your Easter egg.
It's the upside down.
Oh man, she looks so much like Carrie Fisher though, man. I can't get that out of my head, man. They had to cast her to play Princess Leia.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's our thoughts. We got 2 7s and a 4, so that puts an average of what, like a 5?
Yep.
Or 6, 5.5?
5.5.
Yeah. As always, guys, let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on Kong versus Godzilla. Or Godzilla versus Kong. I always want to say Kong versus Godzilla. It should have been Kong versus Godzilla because he was in more of the movie than Godzilla was.
Well, it's just like Batman versus Superman or Superman versus Batman. It's just
either way, it's the same thing.
It could go either way. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think about that one. Next week we'll be coming back with a review of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This past episode of Friday, the episode 3 and episode 4 combined. So we'll do that. And then we'll be touching, I think the following week will be Mortal Kombat. If you guys want to do Mortal Kombat, I think that's coming out on HBO Max.
Cannot wait for that.
Right?
I have high expectations for that.
You got high expectations for that one?
Yes, I do.
I don't.
I got low expectations.
Yeah,
bro.
I don't.
If it's even a little bit better than the one in the past, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm with it.
As far as
Consider that a win.
Within the video game plot, I'm not expecting Oscar-worthy performances or script, but stay true to the game.
Yeah, no, I'm not expecting anything great. Anyway, thanks guys for joining us. Until next time, keep it marvelous.
Must save Mothra.
Mothra.